So, like I accurately predicted, it's Victory Tuesday. Everyone's wearing our cowboy polos in our hearts. Okay, so first things first, you want to graph this. Actually, first things first. Is everyone listening? Actually listening, looking, listening, no headphones, everything, okay? The grading period ends next Friday, October 7th, right? So, everything needs to be turned in by next Friday, okay? Okay, everything's due next Friday. Now, what I'm doing this Friday is doing what we call the frozen floor, meaning I'm not going to put in any new grades after this Friday. New grades, meaning your grade can't go down, because if I put in new stuff, that means it's an opportunity for it to be missing and be okay. But what that means is that's the lowest your grade can go. That's why I call it the floor. You have a 1 week from this Friday to next Friday to bring it up. So you can turn in old stuff, missing work, late work, corrections, retakes, whatever. Okay, so it's to help you. Okay, it's not like, I know some teachers are like, it's your deadline to turn everything in. Okay, whether they mean that or not. Okay, I'm not doing that. I am telling you for real, the last day is next Friday. Okay, and then this Friday, when I give you a grade sheet, hopefully that will be like, hey, it can't get worse than this. And then you have a week to figure it out. Okay, so also I want to put it on your radar. I think I've mentioned this before. Okay, I told you all I'm going to be out in November for like a month. Okay, now that affects you because the way I do things at the end of the 9 weeks, I try to help you as much as I can. But if I'm not here, whoever's going to be here will be the one that is in charge of helping you all out. Hopefully they're very helpful. Okay, so you want to get the highest grade you can this 9 weeks, so you can next 9 weeks, if it's lower, you can average it out. Okay, but so we might have, I don't know if y'all know Mr. Thompson from last year. He was the bowling coach, old guy. He might be your sub. I know. He knows lots of math. He does. Okay, well, then you'll know that if you know him, then you know how his class works. So, assuming it's him, okay, he'll be able to help you out. Now, there might be, we're not there yet. One thing at a time. We're gonna pass this 9 weeks, right? Okay, so just making sure y'all have that in mind, okay? If you get too comfortable with me, okay, things change. You know, you might be like, okay, don't be that way. It is what it is. Now, let's do this warm up. And we took a test last week, right? I'm gonna put that in as soon as I can, so that way we can get an updated idea about our grades, right? Now, I wanted you to graph this. No, I want you to leave that alone. Okay, I want you to graph this. So we go into our calculator, we press new document, don't save, and then number 2 for a graph. I hope everyone's looking up here because some of this is new. Okay. If I put this in the calculator and I press correctly and I press enter, I can kind of see the X-Intercepts, right? Did everyone graph it on their calculator? And you can see pretty much where those roots are. Sorry, X-Intercept. Right here, you can kind of see exactly where that is. By the way, this is not 1. 1 is over here. And this is not 5 because 5 is over here. Right? Y'all know going to the left means negative. Okay, so we could write the X-intercepts. Now, they're not always nice on the grid. So how can we know for sure? Here's one way to do it, okay? Have y'all ever used menu 5-1? Have you ever traced on a graph before? Nope, okay. So maybe I'm gonna write this down. Menu 5-1 is how you can trace on a graph. So if I press menu 5-1, it's going to give you this like X looking circle thing, and you can move it left or right. So I want you to move that cursor over to the left until you get onto a X-intercept. Now, this is interesting. When it pops up, what does it say on that X-intercept? It says the word 0. Okay, X-intercept and 0 mean the same thing. Okay, the reason why they call it a 0 is because the Y is 0 at an X-intercept. Okay, so this is going to get into answering our bottom part. Okay, so down here at the bottom, Okay, I want you to write this on your warm-up. Is everyone listening? Okay. What are 4 names for an X-intercept? One of them is just X-intercept. Let's try that again. And another one is the one we just saw over here on the calculator. When you go over to the left, and you see, look, I'm going to keep going to the left, and there's another, what's it called again? 0. Does everyone see that word right here? When you go on top of it, it's a 0, right? Okay, I am showing y'all new stuff. So I want everyone looking up here. Everybody, please. Okay, so another word is a 0. So an X-intercept is the same thing as a 0. Now, let's write down these X-intercepts. What is the X-intercept you see it's written at the bottom of the calculator. What does it say? So -50 is one of my X-intercepts. And then you can go use the cursor, go to the right and go to the left or whatever, but I'm going to keep going until I get to the other one. And what is this X-intercept 0? -10. If there's more than one X-intercept, please write them both down, right? Kind of like yesterday on our notes. Okay, now, the rest of this warm-up is a little bit of mini notes. So is everyone listening for the next 5 minutes about some new stuff you need to know, okay? Now, another word for an X-intercept is a root. Go and write that down. So X-intercept, 0, and root. Why? Because when you cross the x-axis, they're called roots, and they can be in a root form, okay? It's just another name for the same thing. Don't ask me why there's like 4 names for the same thing, but there is. And then the 4th name is a solution, okay? Whenever you're finding the solution of a quadratic, you're really finding out where does it cross the x-axis, okay? Now, I like to do this in my classes when I teach this, because everybody needs to know all 4 of these words. They're all the same thing. Does everyone understand they're the same thing? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a very easy exercise, okay? If I don't annoy you, I might annoy you right now. Ready? Okay. What's another name for an X-intercept? 0. What's another name for a 0? What? What? Say it. A root? Okay, good job. What's another name for a root? Solution. What's another name for a solution? What's another name for an X-intercept? What's another name for a root? What's another name for a solution? A 0. All right. What's another name for a 0? Okay. What's another name for a root? What's another name for a solution? There's 4 options. We just wrote them down. Oh, you have it here. Yeah, X-intercept. What's another name for an X-intercept? What's another name for 0? What's another name for root? What's another name for 0? What's another name for solution? Besides solution. Or what? 0. What's another name for 0? Okay. Is that annoying? Now, does everyone know that these mean the exact same thing? Yes. Where does it cross the x-axis? Okay? Don't forget, because on today's assignment, okay, you got 8 graphs, okay? This will be like today, tomorrow, combined, okay? But it's going to ask you all 4 of these words, but you know they mean the exact same thing, right? Or do we need to do that again? Do I need to do it again? Because you know that an X-intercept is a 0, is a root, it's a solution. They're all the same thing, right? Okay, now, that being said, one last thing you need to know. What's a max, what's a min? Minimum, maximum. Check it out. If your parabola opens up, what do you think that vertex is, a minimum or a maximum? If it's at the bottom, it's a minimum, okay? Make a little note. What about if it opens downward like this? What do you call that vertex? It's at the top, it's a maximum, okay? That almost doesn't even need notes because it's kind of obvious, but just making sure I go over it real quick before I give you this assignment. So I'm going to hand it to you now. Okay, today's short. Tomorrow I have another meeting to be at, but you will not waste your time and you will finish this assignment, right? Okay.